Good morning, it's Wednesday. Phil and Steve are chatting to more people to make more professionally produced videos. They've charged me we're going to have a look at the televisions that they have already looked at, and I am to cast the eyes of someone who doesn't really understand them and see what I think. So we shall now proceed off to the halls and see how that goes. So then, Sony, they're at the end of the hall, so I might as well kick off here. Throughout the podcast last year, my generally unconsidered take was that I admired what Sony crap got on with in terms of their television design last year. Two reasons. One, the acoustic panel. I think, and I still think, that that's absolute genius. It's a bit of blue sky thinking from a manufacturer which really hadn't done that much of it that recently. Obviously, I'm not sufficiently in adrift of what's going on that I'm aware that there are some, there's some talk that they haven't really moved on very much in 2018, but I still like the way that these things are put together. I still like the basic design of them. Obviously, you've got a huge flat screen, and the general consensus is you get rid of as much bezel as you humanly can. Even allowing for that, there's just an element of attention to detail, I think is probably the best term. I like these. I mean, obviously, they're a bit spendy. I mean, I am looking to buy a television this year, and as it stands, the OLEDs from Sony are just a little bit on the pricey side for me. And this trick stand, which I do rather like, does mean that they're a bit bigger on the old wall mounting front. But I don't know, it still feels this year that this is a company that has sort of rediscovered what it's interested in and what it's good at. And, I can't help but think that that's a pretty good thing. Right, random car update. Monster has got a few on the stand, including a Bentley Ben Tiger. Now, yesterday I was talking about a Lincoln Continental, and I was going, yeah, do you know what? That's quite a good-looking car. I hate this. I mean, for starters, it's a big thing. It's a full 10 seconds to stroll down each side of it, and I figured, well, surely in black it might look marginally less tasteless, but no, it's still hideous. It's just, this is not what W.O. Bentley would have had in mind. I mean, I know that when he was building them, they were described as the fastest lorries in the world. It certainly is that. It's just horrible, though. It really does very little for me. Conversely, if you are going to pretend that you're Rod Stewart, there is a certain I don't know what to this. I mean, if you're going to buy a Lamborghini, you really do need to go for the sillier end of the colour spectrum, and it kind of delivers on that. But yeah. Oh, and there's a Golf here too. Perfectly all right, isn't it? Now then, Samsung. Well, actually, Sony is a company that sort of rediscovered what it enjoys doing and what it's good at. Samsung knows full well what it's good at and what it enjoys doing. The problem it has is that, really, as I see it, the stuff which it needs, the technology which it needs to do that, its own micro LED and sort of Wi-Fi QLED and things like that, it's just not quite ready yet. So there's a sense on this stand, it's like, look at all the stuff that we do. But this is a holding pattern. I mean, this is a company that is gearing up and is desperate to rain fire and fury down on all of its competition, all of the people that have been, moving over to OLED screens and the rest of it, but they're just not quite ready to go yet. And this feeling of stasis is absolutely all over all parts of the stand. Now then, conversely, much as I dislike the Ben Tiger, this is the Range Rover Velar, sitting on the Panasonic stand. I'll look at some tellies in a minute, it's fine. And I've got to admit, Range Rover isn't really my bag. It's a little bit Victoria Beckham for me, but this is a good looking car. There's no getting around that. Interestingly, fact fans, do you know why it's called the Velar? Velar was the prototype name for the original Range Rover back in the very early 1970s. The more you know. Interestingly, the Panasonic stand doesn't really, it's got plenty of televisions on it, but they're not the actual Panasonic models for the year. They're telling you all of the things that Panasonic is busy doing. It's just reminding you that Panasonic is massive. And it's interesting, this is a smaller stand than the Samsung one, quite a lot smaller in fact, but lots more of the stuff on it is stuff that they're doing right now. These aren't concepts, these aren't, you know, lovely ideas that they might kick off with in a couple of years' time. Everything that's on here is what they're up to right now. This is a reminder, you know, doing my psychologist for a moment, this is a reminder that Panasonic is a big, important and active organisation, you know, that you put your interest in them and they're a safe bet. Obviously the tellies are quite nice as well, a bit spendy mind. Right then, last and certainly by no means least is LG. And firstly, you know, you can read into the people move around this show in waves, so you know you need to be careful what you say. But compared to Sony, compared to Samsung, compared to Panasonic, this stand is heaving. I mean, there's concept areas where I can get in there, but I simply can't film there. There's just stuff. There's people looking at everything, looking at it with genuine intent. This. I mean, we from a perspective of, you know, being keenly involved in the television business, we can perhaps get upset that certain want features and, you know, certain rivaling formats haven't all been dutifully bolted onto one set this year and the rest of it. But this just feels so much more. The Samsung stand, as I say, feels like a holding pattern. This is full steam ahead. This is who we are, what we do. Look at all of our lovely stuff, and then yeah, buy it, please. OLED meets intelligent brain. I wish they typoed that. OLED meets intelligent brain. But yeah, I mean, obviously these are all the things that Phil and Steve have discussed with an actual technical understanding of it, so I'm not going to bother. But, you know, it all looks jolly nice, doesn't it? Thin queue up there. And, yeah, lots and lots of people wandering into shop.
So that is it for the step beside yesterday.
What you're looking at here are two people from Engadget. There they are up there. Talking bollocks. And this is one of dozens of stands where two people will sit on a sofa with an audience and talk bollocks. Whether we can make the move into such a nuanced form of attention seeking next year, who can say? So, rather brilliantly, what you're looking at here is the self-proclaimed World Technology Fair has just lost all power in the central hall, which must be fun if you're somewhere nearer the inner echelons of one of those large stands, because it's pretty bloody dark in there. There's some torches flashing around. No one's decided to start using guns yet, so I suppose you got to look on the bright side. I am standing where I'm supposed to meet Phil and Steve. I suspect this is going to take a while, but I thought this was too entertaining to pass up, really. Although I am tremendously bloody glad that I was standing here when the power went out. So yeah, updates as they come.